Hi, my name is JT and welcome to G Club. Today we're going to learn how to play Oaxaca, Crafts of a Culture. Oaxaca, Crafts of a Culture is designed by Sarah and Will Reed and published by Undyne Studios. Now I'm really excited to teach this game to you because I've got my hands on the prototype of what everything's supposed to look like. This game's currently on Kickstarter, and my friends Sarah and Will, they designed this game, and so I was really hoping that I was going to get something from them that I could share with you that they would like to tell you about the game. But unfortunately I think they just kind of ran out of time with things being busy with the Kickstarter campaign and everything. What?
Dad, we got a letter from, I think it's one Sarah.
Oh, okay, we got a letter from them. Awesome. All right, well, let's see what they have to say. So, dear JT, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to work on this video for us and to really help support the campaign. We really appreciate the professionalism and the certain craftsmanship that you bring and all the work that you do to help support the hobby. And we just wanted to say thank you, and we just really appreciate that you're willing to invest so much time and energy in helping this hobby along. Wow, that was such a nice letter. I mean, that was just very selfless of them, and wanting to say all that for me and in this video. I just think that's wonderful. So, thank you very much, Sarah and Will, for that. That was such a nice letter. I really appreciate that. With that said, let's get this dice rolling engine building game called Oaxaca, Crafts of a Culture to the table, and let's learn how it plays. In the southern Mexican state of Oaxaca, you played skilled handicraftsmen that are trying to build out the best wares in the marketplace for sale. To set up Oaxaca, you're going to shuffle all 5 handicraft decks and place them out in the middle of the table. So, we'll start off with the pottery cards, the jewelry cards, the textile cards, the wood carving cards, and the tin art. Then you'll shuffle up the Taurus deck. You will draw 6 cards and place them all face up in a 2x3 grid. And then placing 1 craft token in the first column to represent which round you're in. You'll notice that this game is going to have 3 rounds. Then you'll place the Taurus deck right here and leave an open space for the discard pile. Next, you'll give yourself a player mat, a tourist meeple, a banner card, 5 custom dice. Players will also receive a reference card that shows the different handicraft decks and what they do. And then on the back, it's referencing how to use the stars, as well as how to combine dice. And then we'll put the craft tokens in a pile within reach of all players. And then one player will randomly get the first player marker. Let's take a closer look at the player mat and see how Oaxaca plays. At the beginning of the round, all players are going to roll their dice. Then, they can decide which ones they're going to put into the daylight box and which ones they're going to re-roll, and put the remaining results here into the daylight box. So let's talk about what you can do with your dice. On your turn, you move one of your dice over. So let's take this wood carving result and let's move it over here to our nightfall box. And we'll use it to do our gather action. So what you'll do is you'll look at the symbol, you'll match it up with what's on the card, and you'll draw 2 cards from that handicraft deck. Then you'll take a look at the 2 cards, decide which one you want, place one into your workshop, and place the other one back in the deck. Now, you can choose to either put it on the top of the deck, or you can decide to put it on the bottom of the deck. It's the player's choice. In this case, we'll just put it on the top of the deck. Then we'll take craft tokens equal to the number on top of the card, and then we'll place those 3 tokens on top of that card. These tokens represent the amount of work that needs to be done before you can finish the handicraft and move it to the right of your player mat or to your market stall. You'll notice that the workshop can hold up to 3 at once. Even though it says 3 here, that does not mean that there's a limit. More cubes can be placed by other players' interactions with you. Next up is the craft action. The craft action allows you to take one of the die results, such in this case the wood carvings, And we'll use it to take one craft token off of each card that matches that particular die result. So in this case, we have this one and this one here. We'll remove a token from here and a token from there. We will not take a token off this jewelry one because it does not match. Then we'll take this die and move it to the Nightfall box. And anything that's uncovered, such as this card right here, we will move over to our market stall. Once it's in our market stall, we can utilize any of the power that is on the card. When using the wild results, you can still do the gather or the craft action. The difference is that when you go to do the gather action, you're only going to pull one of the cards off the deck, or if you were to do the craft action, you would just simply remove one of the craft tokens from any one of the cards, but only one. And of course, once you've done that action, you would simply move it over to the Nightfall box. Let's take a closer look at what else you can do with your dice. Another thing you can do is combine dice results. So let's say we were trying to specialize in woodworking, and because we have pottery and we have textiles, those are not the dice results we're looking for. So we could use these two results and basically convert them into a woodworking result. And then we can use that result just like we would with any other regular result for gather and craft actions. Another way to combine results is to take one die and put it with one of our special abilities off of a card here in our market stall, or another ability card that shows up in our tourist deck. So what you would do is you would simply exhaust this card, you would combine these two results, and you would do the same thing in turning that into a woodworking result. Keep in mind, when it comes to combining results, you always have to use at least one die. So you could use one die with another die, or you can use a die with a special ability on a card in your market stall, or a card in the tourist deck. The last thing you can do with your die is to put it into the early morning box. And what the early morning box does is it allows you at the end of the round to then take that die and put it to any result you want. So at the beginning of the next round, let's say you wanted textiles, you'd have that die result waiting for you at the beginning, and you would just simply roll your other 4 dice. Let's talk about some of the options that you have on your turn. On your turn, you may use up to 2 powers from your cards in your stall. You can scrap a project from your workshop to create room, and then discard the card to the bottom of the deck. Another option you have is to take your tourist meeple, represented here, with this nice purple meeple, and put it on one of the tourist cards. Keeping in mind that the tourist meeple can only go in the column where the craft token is located. When you place your meeple on the tourist card, you simply get that power from that card. So in this case, we would get a jewelry die result. Players throughout the round will continue taking turns using their dice for either their gather or their craft action, activating the cards in their market stall for their powers, combining dice to get the die result they want to do their gather or craft action, scrapping projects in their workshop, putting them back underneath the deck, using their tourist meeple to activate a tourist card, or instead of using one of their dice at the end, they can simply save it into the early morning box. Once all players have finished utilizing their dice, the round will end. At the end of the round, you'll refresh all your cards in your market stall that you've used, reclaim your tourist meeple. If you have a die in the early morning box, you will take it, put it to the side that you want. So you want jewelry, and you'll put it into the daylight box. Then you move the craft token from round 1 to round 2 in between these 2 tourist cards that can now be utilized by your tourist meeple in round 2. Play will continue like this for 3 rounds. So once we get done with round 3, that will trigger the end of the game, and we will go into final scoring. Let's take a closer look at end of game scoring. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check to see if I have anything in my early morning box. If I do, then I'm going to take that die and I will score 1 victory point. Once I've done that, then I'm free to actually take all the dice off and flip this thing over, and because I've got that 1 point, I'll go ahead and put that meeple on there to start off with the 1 victory point. Next, what I'll do is to see if there's any cards left in the workshop. Each card is worth 1 victory point. So in this case, I just have the 1 project still open, so I'll move the meeple up on the track, 1 victory point. Next, I'll take a look at what's in my market stall. these are the crafts that I've been working on that I've completed and got moved to the right side of my map. Each one of these has a number in the top right hand corner that represents the amount of victory points they're worth if they're created in your market stall. So I have 5 cards, which all are represented by 3 victory points, which means I get another 15 victory points. So here we go. We'll add 15 victory points and get us up to 17. Then you're going to look for any jewelry cards that you've crafted that have victory points attached to them. And so in this case, we have this really beautiful necklace, and it gives you 1 victory point at the end of the game. So we'll add that 1 victory point to our track. So we will go from 17 to 18 because of the necklace. Now, as you score points on the victory track, although it only goes up to 50, if you do get all the way past 50, you can go back up to the first one and start working your way through. And so in this case, if we made our way around, that would be 55 points. You will then compare victory points with your fellow players. Whoever has the most points wins the game. If there happens to be a tie, whoever has the fewest cards in the workshop wins the game. If there's still a tie, whoever has the fewest cards in their market stall wins the game. If there's still a tie, then the players share the victory. And that's how you play Oaxaca, Crafts of a Culture. And that was Oaxaca, Crafts of a Culture. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about how the game plays, please post those in the comments below. If you like it, please give us a like. And if you'd like to subscribe to our channel, we'd love to have you as a subscriber as well. I also want to point out to you that we do have a solo mode video on how to play, and if you click on that link below in the description, that'll get you right over there as well. In the meantime, my name is JT, and you've been watching G Club. And we'd love to have you as a subscriber if I could actually talk. If there's still a tie, then the players share the victory. Share the victory. Well, what? Who came up with this rule? And if you would... And if you wouldn't mind, if I wouldn't mind, what am I even saying? What am I going to talk about? What am I saying, Evan? Said I'm drawing a blank, but there is no drawing because the blank is an absence of a drawing. Hi, my name is JT. Oh, hey, let's get this table to... Wow.
So let's get this table to the game.
Let's get to the table to the game.